I gave up my marriage for an affair with my secretary, now we have a child. I know I'm going to face a lot of criticism for the age gap and the way this situation unfolded. I 42 am my secretary, 25F. My ex-wife and I had been together since middle school. We have 4 teenage daughters. For most of our relationship, I was a stay-at-home dad and worked part-time until our youngest reached middle school. At that point, my ex-wife supported me in starting a business I was passionate about and I hired a receptionist. That's when the affair began, and she ended up deliberately getting pregnant. Now we're living together and we have a young son. The situation between us is strained. She resents me because she feels misled. When we started dating, I appeared to be successful, I had a nice car, dressed well, and took her to expensive places. She assumed I was wealthy and admitted she got pregnant on purpose, thinking she could use me to avoid working and financially support her family overseas. But the truth is, my ex-wife and her family are the ones who had money. None of the homes we lived in were under my name or hers. We were essentially renting from her parents for a symbolic fee, with the understanding that these properties would eventually go to my ex after her parents passed. This arrangement allowed us to live comfortably on her salary of around $150,000, which isn't huge for the high cost of living area we live in. When our marriage ended, I walked away with half of our savings, about $25,000, my personal belongings, and my car. I lost the business due to lack of funds, and I chose not to pursue alimony. On my end, I feel deceived as well. I believed she loved me, her attention and persistence made me feel special, and I couldn't believe that a younger, attractive woman would be interested in me. She actively pursued me, and I was flattered by it. But now it's clear she has no real feelings for me. There's no affection, no connection. In hindsight, I feel like I gave up everything for what turned out to be an ego boost, a fantasy that clouded my judgment. I realize now how much I loved my ex-wife and I still do. But after spending my entire adult life with just one woman, the allure of someone new was hard to resist, especially when any attempts to open our marriage were rejected. This affair felt like a dream come true at the time and I was weak. Now, I'm left trying to figure out how to make this situation work for the sake of our son, and how to either rebuild something functional with my new partner or, at the very least, learn to co-parent effectively. Now both me and my GF are in a place we didn't imagine. She's living in a shitty apartment with an old man and still has to work. I've lost my kids, the love of my life, my family, my lifestyle, my business, and it's all 100% my own fault. She stopped being intimate with me as soon as she found out I wasn't rich. We're still together on my end because I feel like I need to have something to show for this shit show of a situation. At least I got a son and a partner out of it. At least it wasn't for nothing. And also because I don't trust her with our son. She would never agree to give me full custody and she's not a good mother. I would be worried for his safety and the people she would have him around. I honestly don't know why she hasn't left me from her end. What can I do to improve this situation? I know logically it would be best to break up and co-parent, but I'm afraid for my son and I'm embarrassed for myself. Is there a way to salvage this situation? I'm thinking of just telling her we can have an open relationship. She can sleep with whoever she wants and go wherever she wants as long as she lives here, so I can have my son 100% of the time I work from home. I don't know if that's the answer here though. Update 1. I was an incredibly involved dad. Most of their lives I worked 1 to 2 days a week and then stayed home with them the rest. I was closer to them than their mom and I'd like to think I've never disappointed them before this. I made a mistake. It's been over 2 years since it all came out and I haven't been able to make any headway. My eldest is hung up on the fact that I now have a young son. Every firstborn of each generation in my family has been a boy for a long time and she broke the streak. I honestly could not care less about that. I've always thought that pressure was stupid and I'm not a traditionally masculine guy that always wanted a boy. But she's so hurt that I have a son and is convinced that's all I've ever wanted and he's replaced her and my daughters. None of that is true. All of my girls said they don't consider themselves to have a brother and want nothing to do with him. All 4 of them feel betrayed and blame me for breaking up our family. I deserve the blame, it's my fault and I take responsibility. But I can't change the past and I don't know how I can begin making up for it. My ex has full custody of them, but I'm supposed to have visitation 1 weekend a month. They're all in therapy and it was suggested to not enforce the visitation and respect their boundaries while they work through it. I've done that the entire time and there's no progress made. Does anyone have any suggestions about what I can do here? My ex absolutely hates me but was always supportive of the girls staying in contact with me. She's respected their wishes but still gives me updates once in a while. My eldest is turning 18 soon and graduating this coming year and probably moving away for university. I feel like the time to make up with her especially is slipping away. I know I'm the shitty person here. I was a terrible husband but I was honestly a really good dad and I miss my girls. Has anyone been through something like this? How did it turn out? What are your suggestions? Update 2. Good news, my girlfriend and I have broken up. She has gone back to her home country and left my son with me. Refused to sign any formal custody agreement, so I'm hoping she stays there and doesn't bother us again. I'm pretty sure if she comes back and demands time with him I have a good case for maintaining custody. She's not even interested in FaceTiming with him so he remembers her. I feel bad that my son will deal with a shitty/absent mother, but I hope I can get him into therapy as he grows. Bad news, I've tried my best to insist on visitation with my daughters and that has fallen through. They absolutely refuse to see me. They wrote me a letter together that says how much they hate me, how betrayed they feel, how they'll never forgive me, and how my son will never be their brother. To not even bother telling him about them because they'll never be interested in knowing him. Just to forget about them altogether and move on with my new family. I have no legal recourse. The youngest is 13 now, old enough to have a say in custody arrangements. And I don't think forcing them to see me would do me any favors long-term anyways. They also included pictures of their mother's wedding. My ex has no obligation to tell me about her personal life, but I'm pretty pissed that there is a man living with my daughters that I didn't know about. It is a family friend that has been in their lives 10 plus years, so not a total stranger, but still hurt to see pictures of their recent wedding and family pictures with my daughters. They mentioned that they have a father figure and don't need me anyways. The whole thing really hurt. I know I have no right to feel hurt that my ex has moved on when I cheated on her. But their whole relationship has moved very fast, so I'm now wondering if they started it before we got divorced. No way to know now. Doesn't matter anyways. My ex agreed to keep me up to date and send pictures of my daughters once in a while. After dealing with my son's mom, I'm grateful she is so good to our girls and I don't have to worry about their well-being. I'm trying to focus on being a good dad to my son and patiently waiting for my girls to grow up and reach out. It may never happen, but I'm hopeful that they will understand me more as they become adults and gain context for life.